How's it going, everybody? And welcome back for another Tuesday. Welcome back to the Rethink Tank Live, the only show where we question everything from fight night feuds to robot rights and somehow still have time to roast politicians. Tonight, we've got quite the lineup. First up, Ronda Rousey is throwing verbal jabs at Joe Rogan, calling him a fan, not an expert. We'll find out if she's tapping into some truth or just tapping out of reality. Then we'll meet Neo, the first humanoid robot hitting the market. They say he can think, feel, and maybe even replace your coworkers. Great, because nothing says progress like getting fired by a guy made by aluminum. And finally, we'll ask the question no New Yorker seems able to answer. Does the mayor of New York actually matter? Or is it just a ceremonial position between pizza scandals? Strap in. It's going to be a night of punchlines, programming, and political pondering. Let's get into it. So before we dive right into our topic here with Ronda Rousey and Joe Rogan, I got to bring in our big friend from the Pickle Gallery, Just Another Day TV, Ricky. It's a perfect time to bring up, this is an opportunity when we do some, revisits of old topics, some updates, but also some important things that we maybe not able to make a full topic of, but is worth our consideration and our attention. And one of it being Jamaica. Especially right now, a place that doesn't get much attention and we don't get to think much about. So, Ricky, you take the floor as we've got some things to present for us too, right?
Well, this was quick and fast, man. Everybody pretty sure heard about Hurricane Melissa. So I ain't saying I can help all of Jamaica, but I can help who's in my community and who's neighbors of my neighbors and stuff like that sort. So if you do want to help, I don't like big corporations like Red Cross and stuff like that. DM me. I have stuff going down. DM me and I will do my best. Don't worry about clearance or anything of that sort. I will clear it. Just any support, clothes, any cleaning supplies, anything that can, even chargeable lights, anything that you feel like you would need in a natural disaster. If you want to help, just DM me. I'll give you your address and send it. If you want to do cash, I'll say, hold on to your cash and I'll show you where to just order something directly that they can just go grab directly in Jamaica where you ordered and go from there. I don't want to seem like a fraud. I'm not a fraudster or nothing, so I don't want none of your money. So you can directly, hands-on, help whoever you want if you want to help.
I appreciate that. And that's at Just Another Day TV. You can find Ricky and, I'm not a big charity guy going to like a formal charity. And I've said that on here before. And a lot of that is because it's misappropriated funds. People take advantage of it. You never really know where that money goes. And so there's a beautiful thing when you got boots on the ground, people that are, literally experiencing it, and you can have a direct impact. That's kind of where you want to spend your attention. And dude, when you see photos like this, it's like, right? Just picking up Mother Nature and tossing it across the island is absurd.
And that is directly where I grew up, Catch-and-All. We got hit the hardest. The eye, everything just ran through Catch-and-All, and we got hit the hardest. There's no service. There's not a light pole up. So that just to give you, if you want to go charge your phone, you gotta leave and drive to the fire station or something to get water, and you can't even drive into the community because the roads are literally destroyed. So if you want to help, just DM me the right way or Just Another Day TV.
The tabloids like to get our attention so much more than the real stuff. So I appreciate you bringing our attention to it here for a quick moment.
Thank you, bro.
So let's start kicking off the show, right? We're getting into a Ronda Rousey, Joe Rogan feud. Who saw this coming in the 2025 bingo card? All right. Ronda Rousey has officially re-entered the chat. And what a way to make a comeback. She pops up on the Bertcast. Yes, the Bert Kreischer podcast of all places, rocking a panda black eye, calling Joe Rogan, quote, a fan, not an expert. Now, first off, let's appreciate the strategic genius here. If this was a PR play, it was executed with precision. Ronda Rousey hasn't been in the center of the MMA conversation for a while, and Joe Rogan, he's practically a gravitational field in the fight world. Everything eventually orbits around him. So if you're trying to make noise, taking a jab at Rogan on Bert Kreischer's couch is one heck of a way to do it. But here's the thing. Ronda's criticism misses the mark. Rogan's not just a fan. He's been there. He's been calling UFC fights since the dark ages, back when the octagon looked like a middle school science fair project and the fighters wore shoes. He's one of the main reasons MMA broke through the mainstream audiences. He's studied the art, promoted the athletes, and done more for the sport's growth than most executives in Zuffa headquarters. And Ronda, look, she was the face of the UFC. She broke barriers. She changed the sport. She made it marketable. But it wasn't the fans who turned on her. It was her personal shame and that emotional spiral after those losses that pushed her out of the spotlight. People wanted to keep loving Ronda. She just couldn't handle being mortal in a sport that humbles everyone. Now she's out here acting like the audience betrayed her, when the truth is the audience was the one thing that never did. When she questions Rogan's credentials, I can't help but think of that Douglas Murray standard. Experts comes from being there, seeing it, living it. And Rogan's been there, ringside, backstage, in the trenches of MMA culture before it was even cool. Maybe Ronda's real fight now isn't in the cage. It's with the part of herself that can't accept she's no longer the unbeatable champ. But hey, if the goal was to get people talking again, mission accomplished. So I think the only way to truly continue the dialogue here is to see the clip itself. So here is the little exchange that occurred on the Bertcast.
Talking to Joe on the walkover. How long for me to train to beat Ronda? That'll never happen.
He wouldn't know. He's not an expert. He's a fan with an audience.
Dude, Bert didn't know how to respond to that.
It's interesting. Is that how you feel about you?
Never fought.
He fought Taekwondo, right?
Never fought. That's not fighting.
As somebody with second-degree black belt in Taekwondo, she's right.
It's not fighting.
Well, I'm going to exit this conversation.
I don't want you to get any bad DMs. We need to get out.
So it is funny. She just happened to do it on the couch of of one of Cat Williams' proclaimed comedians promulgated and promoted by Joe Rogan, who suck. And he's sitting there like, well, you can't say that about my big brother. But I have to say that I back to the opening point I make, there's no way this is grounded in reality. And if she truly feels it, it's coming out of a place of bitterness, not rationale. Because Joe Rogan is an expert that should be ringside, at least bringing commentary on these fights. Is he an expert that can train like an Eddie Bravo? Maybe not. But if you ever watch them talk together, you can truly tell they both know what the hell they're talking about. And strategy is no foreign friend to Joe Rogan in this realm. I think it's absurd to make a proclamation like that. And then it comes back to what does it mean to be an expert then? Like if Joe Rogan isn't an expert here, who can be an expert?
Dude, it's simply this. Ronda Rousey decided to go the route of being the pick-me girl. It's just a pick-me behavior. She's a loser. I mean, this is the most loser thing she could have done. If I was, and I've looked into it a little bit more, the rest of the MMA, like the fighters, active fighters, former fighters, are basically all saying like, wow, I cannot believe she thought this was the correct route. She's a loser. Her last two fights were shameful. She disappeared. She couldn't handle it. For her to say the fans like turned on them, dude, we love Charles Oliveira, and he hasn't been a champion in years. But every single time we keep rooting for him, like the fans are going to turn on you the last. And it's like, she lost me. I don't care what she does after this. Like PR stunt or not, I'll be like, really? Really? It's like, it'd be like if Tom Brady came out and be like, dude, the NFL is not the same as what it was when I was there. It's like the 40, 50 years before you, and the NFL is doing just fine without you. You're still great. And it's honestly, it's really shameful by her. I hope the MMA community really tears her down. I really do.
Well, and there's a lot packed in this episode. Like what catches headlines is a jab at Joe Rogan, right? The bigger point is this guy is his own stratosphere. And of course, taking a jab at him is going to catch attention. But then that makes me, I haven't watched a Bert Kreischer episode and literally ever at this point. And you go back, you watch an episode, you see the numbers, and it's like, oof, numbers are bad. And this is one of your best episodes because of this little controversy. There is a lot of bitterness in that episode. Like, I'm sitting here going, if I'm going to talk about this today, I better listen to it. So there's a lot more the internet's criticizing her for, than I come to learn, than just this Joe Rogan element. Like, what are you doing going after the fans?
It's such a misinformed, ill-advised take.
MMA fans and media are the most "what have you done for us lately" crowd of any sport. Like, you look at WWE and they have such a reverence for their legends. And at MMA, it's like the second that you're not on top, you're not shit and you never were shit.
She's not talking about UFC fans or MMA fans. She's talking about the organization, but she can't say it for whatever reason, so she'll blame it on the fans. The fans did nothing to you, Ronda Rousey, other than idolize you, other than adore you, other than treat you like a mega superstar that you deserve to be treated like. She was the face of the UFC, and she lost. And I remember the narrative after the fight. It wasn't she ain't shit, she never was shit. The narrative was, we should have seen this coming. Holly Holm was a Hall of Fame boxer. We probably should have given her a lot more respect. And then the next time we see her, she's getting off a plane, covering her face because she felt embarrassed, because she was such a gamer, such a competitive person that it crushed her. And that's okay. But guess what? UFC fans, whether she wants to believe it or not, and I didn't live it, but I can say this with the utmost certainty. They wanted to love her. She did not allow that. When she returned, she didn't do a single interview. She didn't attend media day. When we were sitting there waiting for the morning weigh-ins, the official weigh-ins, she snuck in, snuck out, and looked at all of us with disgust. She blamed all of us for it. The media, the fans, just because she lost. Some of the greatest MMA fighters of all time have, and most beloved and popular fighters of all time, have double-digit losses on their resumes. Conor lost to Nate Diaz. People liked him more after the loss. The way he stood there and met with the media and took his lumps and came back stronger. She could not be more wrong about this. And she continues to go on this media tour talking shit about the MMA fans and the MMA community, when in reality, her issue is with the way the UFC treats its legends, the way the UFC treats their own, comparing that to the WWE, which is a very valid point, by the way. But you're comparing two different things, the wrong things. It's organization to organization, not fan base to fan base. You couldn't be more wrong.
So that clip was brought to us by Ariel Helwani, and I want to admit that was a perfect take on it, because there's another angle to this. I'm like, wait, now you're trashing your fans? I go and watch the podcast, and the Spark Notes takeaway is, yeah, no, I was always bound to be the prodigy. I am, a one in a million, and, I deserve more respect. And there's an element of humbleness, but it's also like, no, I can pretty much do anything. Now I wanted to write a book, buy my book. So of course you got us all talking about you. You win. In response to Helwani's criticism about her, like, not doing interviews and didn't attend media day, I don't think she has like severe disdain for the audience and is like hiding from them. One thing I want to concede in defense of Ronda Rousey is the Bertcast. She goes and describes about how she has some medical issue with that brings about difficulty public speaking and forming her words. So again, maybe this isn't, she's a fighter, she's not a debater and she's not a public speaker. Obviously through a long public career, she's been able to develop that further, but in her defense, that's probably why she strays away from those difficult conversations. At the same time, that doesn't change the reality we're living in, which is you chose to be irrelevant. You fought with the people. It's like a football player. Like, dude, you only make more money when we all buy your jersey. Ronda, you want people to buy your stupid fantasy book just because they love you. But if you keep blaming them, you're the reason my millionaire lifestyle is still miserable. I'm not buying your book.
Yeah, I don't know who's advising her, she seems too proud to be advised by anyone. I just think she's an idiot. I actually do. I think she's not that smart of a person. Like, I kind of agree with, I guess I'm sympathetic to your point of like, she has a condition, but dude, she talked a lot when she was a champ.
She talked a lot.
So like, I'm not buying
And Holly
into that.
Holm, shut her down.
Oh yeah.
Quiet her up.
And like, here's the thing. shut her down. Then I think she fought Nunez after, and like we all know how that was gonna go. But it was like for her to be like, oh, I just like get nervous talking. You didn't up until after those fights. So you're a bitter loser. You're too proud. You couldn't handle it, and you chose the Bertcast of all places to do this. Like I hope the MMA community really roasts her for this. I hope we would have been so welcoming of her to come back. Think of Andrew Luck, the football player. He retired early. Imagine if he retired early and then immediately was like attacking the NFL organization.
No, NFL fans.
NFL fans. Yes. No, excuse me. You're right. Attack the fans. He didn't do that. He goes back. He's like, nah, disappeared for a few years. He's like, yeah, I'm back. Let's talk some football. We were all like glad to see him. You're like, hey, it's Andrew.
Dude,
Ronda.
how about this? Ronda, you left the limelight, and then I saw you walk onto the Entourage movie set, and I'm sitting there like, hey, it's Ronda.
It's Ronda.
And then you start spitting your BS, and it's like, now I don't get excited to see you even on the Bertcast.
By the way, she talks about the WWE. I'm not a WWE watcher. I don't like it. It's fine. I like the organization, whatever. I never heard a good review about her as like a WWE
well,
entertainer,
here's what I do want to
promoter.
say. She did have a good career with the WWE.
Yeah,
and
but
then
is
she
that
broke her
manufactured?
finger and had to have surgery. And then she left the WWE to like go down this fantastical writing, fantasy writing endeavor. But I in her defense, dude, she was good. I've never watched the WWE. I get invited to our buddy Foster. His brother-in-law's having a party, the Super Smackdown or whatever. And it was this like board where they randomly drew, I guess 25 people come out and all randomly wrestle. Every 30 seconds or minute, a new person comes out. You get like 1 through 25. And if your person wins, you get the pot of money. Dude, it was a blast. I won the pot of money. I've watched WWE once in my life. They all hated me because I walked out that one time with all their cash. I have to say, Brock Lesnar came out. That was sweet. This was fun to watch. She was fun to watch. It wasn't long-lived, though, because she did suffer that injury. But again, it wouldn't be long-lived. Look at Logan Paul. That is the personality that can live through eternity in the WWE.
That's what I mean, though. Like, that's how I can only be like, do I think she was athletically built for it? Sure. But like successful as like in that, like it's a manufactured like championship. Like at least in the UFC, it's like, no, you were the first like great female champion. In the WWE, it's like, dude, like Logan Paul could easily win the championship. And I'd be like, well, yeah, why wouldn't they give it to him? He's a personality. It's like, I look at her on the Bertcast podcast and be like, oh, you're dumb and dull. Like that's your personality. No wonder you didn't like the fans because there wasn't much to like there.
But again, just like 17, 18-year-old me would say, she's still she's still fine. Sitting on that couch talking to Bert. It's like, that's how you get my attention, even when you don't deserve it. Now, I got to bring in Ricky, but a fleeting comment because you brought it up just like a bit ago and I didn't get to touch it. Tinfoil hat on real quick. Everybody needs to talk about the fact that she definitely has a panda black eye. And if you're going to be Illuminati made irrelevant again, going on Irrelevant Burt Kreischer's podcast with your panda black eye, making headlines about Joe Rogan, a conspiracy theorist couldn't even write it themselves. Anyway, Ricky, what are your thoughts on this whole deal?
Maybe she got in a fight with her boyfriend because.
What do you mean?
Because Ronda Rousey is a very violent woman. Like, there's a lot of stuff on the internet with her. She's a very violent woman out of the ring and out of the octagon, allegedly. But she was never really
like
good
Hope
in
Solo.
WWE, bro. Everyone always thought she was stiff. She never got along with people in the back. And she always made stuff more difficult than it was. There's a bunch of interviews of current wrestlers talking about her. And they didn't like her. Even Triple H talked about her like it didn't work out because it just personalities collided.
Yeah, you got to have one to collide.
Well, hers is just so dry. You can put water on it to make it moist. Like there's nothing you could do. You just a hurricane could come through and she'll still be dry. but I never liked her. she just always seemed cocky for no reason. Finished with one freaking move, armbar. I'm just saying, if she get me in that move, if she grab a hand on me, she got me.
Here's the
with Ricky on
fact.
it. I'm
Here's
with
the
Ricky on
fact.
that.
She's whooping all of our asses 10 times. There were 10 of
that's
us
not
take
saying
on
much,
Ronda
though.
Rousey. She kicks all of their asses.
And that's a
But
fact.
that's not saying much.
But
Like that's like the
I
most
know.
obvious
I'm
thing.
a fan. I ain't a fighter. So I'm just pointing that out there because you have
Here's what
these
I'll
people on
say.
the internet
In
that
Ronda
like, she'll kick
Rousey's
your ass.
defense, until Holly Holmes fight, she is dominant. Like, she was
With
fun
one
to watch.
Move.
Yeah.
One move.
I'm with
But it
Ricky on
worked.
this. I'm
But-
with Ricky on it though. I agree, Alex. Like
One
she
move.
was up until then, but like if you were
She
to
was
drop
dry.
her in prime Ronda Rousey in female MMA right now, she would just be a pretty average fighter. And it's nothing against her. Like her run was great and all that stuff, but it's like Amanda Nunes was the one where it was like, oh,
No.
this is how good they could be. This is how
And
good
the
a
women
female fighter
division
really
caught
could
up
be.
just like this in a year and a half. The women division caught up.
Yeah.
Caught up.
Yeah, like
And
that was the
also-
thing. But that run she went on, it was exciting. It
Was-
was legendary. Like I
And
I
to the-
won't take that
yeah,
away
facts.
from her. But it
And
was
two,
crazy
who
how
made me know
quick it
about
just like
Ronda
snapped
was
away
Joe
from her.
Rogan. Joe Rogan.
Well-
Joe Rogan cried for this woman. Like,
Yeah, he did.
he cried for this woman.
And then
was
she
like,
spits
yo,
in his
she mu-
face.
I know. Oh
she
yeah,
must
no,
be the
it's pretty-
baddest woman of ever. Like, she must be knocking shit out. But when every time I go in there, she's just looking for a takedown and just grappling and everything. It is never an exciting fight. It was always dry to me. And it was just kind of disgusting for the man that literally championed her, like the greatest women fighter. When there was Cyborg that was a heavy hitter, even though she was on PT steroids, and Nunes, which wasn't Shevchenko, bro. Come on now. How we figure about Shevchenko?
Oh yeah, Shevchenko
goat,
would
bro.
mop the floor with
Goat.
Ronda.
Like, and she was never exciting for me. I never liked her as a fighter, and her personality was never good. Like, she was never entertaining, and I watch fights for entertainment.
Well, and you guys make a stronger point, which is how the end of her career was so abrupt. And to me, that speaks to her character,
Mhm.
if that's fair to evaluate, because I look at someone like Poirier, right? Dustin Poirier will be a Hall of Famer. Great. And he definitely saw more losses at the end of his career than he probably had to, right? Compared to some of the other greats. I'm trying to think of the dude, the backyard fighter that was fighting with,
Who, Kimbo Slice?
Kimbo.
yeah, who was fighting with Kimbo Slice, the Latin guy that also kind of
wasn't
wrapped his-
Shogun?
No,
BJ
No.
Penn?
that's even.
But not
longer
even
ago.
them. Like, think about Tony Ferguson, bro. Tony
Tony,
Ferguson
yeah, I
been
saw
taking
that in the
L's
chat.
and L's, but the fans still love Tony. Like, you have diehard Tony. Tony never turned his back on the fans or blamed the fans for any of his shortcomings.
Dude, I'm looking at Ronda Rousey's like record, and she went 12-2. Dude, she fought nobody. Like in the grand scheme of things, she fought nobody. Her biggest win, probably you could argue, is Misha Tate. That's it. Like really a bad resume, dude. Didn't she like talk smack about Khabib? Like,
Oh
what
yeah,
was that
hold on.
about?
That is another part
What was
that came
that about? What are you doing,
so
Ronda?
Get this one, Ricky. In the podcast, she says Khabib is only adored by the fans because he walked away before he got exposed. I gotta say, I kind of agree with that point.
Yeah, L take. That is a bad take.
Sure,
That
sure.
is a bad
But
take.
the
I
only
don't agree with
reason
that at
I
all.
am going to stand my ground and disagree is he never once did a single fight to prove otherwise. So I just have to take you on your word for it. I have to take him on his word for it. He literally did not one single thing to defend and prove your point. He didn't defend the title. He didn't prove your point. We're just
You
going
defended
off
a man
like,
that was
"Oh,
talking
guy."
the main shit, which was Connor.
Right. He did it, and then he stopped. That was it. It was over. Never
But he
defended a
cleared the
thing,
division.
never stood his ground. It was negotiation issues and problems with my mommy and my religion's quaking my boots. It's at some point you prolonged it as long as you could and you bowed out. So you're probably right, Will. I got to tell you, I never really saw someone like Khabib that won at the lengths that he won. So my gut tells me you're probably right. But there is no world you could say because she's right to at least point out he never was. She did, and she lost, and she put her hand in the sand. There's other guys like DC and Stipe who did defend their titles, hold their ground, and DC will get just as much an accolade as Stipe because he took those trenches on. I'm sorry. The fact that Khabib didn't is noteworthy. Not definitive, but definitely not worth your ignoring.
Khabib defended the title 3 times against Conor, Dustin Poirier, and Justin Gaethje.
In different weight classes.
He was the current champion.
Oh, same
I'm
weight
just
class.
saying, I'm not the biggest Khabib fan either. Like Khabib, I think
And
is
he
great.
cleared
his
the
record stands
division
for
leading
itself.
up.
Maybe he retired early, but I mean, to go 29-0 in your last 3 fights, you very handedly handled Conor, Poirier, and Gaethje in their prime, defending the belt. I don't know who. If Khabib kept fighting, I don't know who would have beaten him. I really don't. It was like the John Jones kind of thing. It's like I think he's that dominant. And Khabib's biggest issue is, and the only point I'll give Ronda is, he wasn't an exciting fighter. He just mauled you. He would get you on the ground. He'd maul you. He'd choke you out. Dude, I've seen Conor lose a few times. Conor looked distressed.
From the bat. Right off the bat.
Looked distressed, and Khabib was in his ear like, you wanted this. You asked for this. I'll go all day with you. You know me, biggest Conor dude. I was like, yeah, I never wanted to see Conor fight Khabib again. I was like, don't put him in the ring with him.
Right. But I think that's also building up, the fall to be bigger than it is. It was 2 greats. But the truth is, when you look at that Conor fight, which was the end of it all, he was motivated by something personal. And so, again, I'd like to see the world where I'm not fighting for my brother and all these outside the ring influences that were full. Like, dude, that's like a mom who's seeing her kid being crushed by a car. Every other day, she can't lift that car. But he was not walking out of that ring without dying fighting Conor. So I feel like when it all ends there, and again, it was one of the greatest climax moments we'll ever see in sports, let alone in the UFC. And that's why he'll always, like Jim Brown, be a discussed player of this sport who's a great. And it's one of those, you really can't, you're right. There's enough in his run to go, he proved himself. I don't think anyone here is saying he didn't prove himself. I think Ronda's even worse for saying he's only adored because he didn't see his downfall. Back to the point that I was getting at earlier, there's so many fighters that probably stayed in it longer than they should have, and we saw their downfall. And because this sport is so incredibly difficult, and there's so much cost, there's so much that is costed in even just competing, let alone losing, that when people have a streak of losses, it never shadows the great runs that they have. I mean, look at how many times Will has physically seen Conor McGregor get whooped. He hasn't seen him win lately. He hasn't seen him win since the great first loss. Dude doesn't win. In no way does that shadow people's view of him being great. And he's done enough outside the sport, keeping himself relevant, that it's only enhanced his brand. So I agree with you guys for the most part in regards to we're arguing over semantics. This is literally one of the greatest fighters of all time. The only thing I'm saying is it is noteworthy. It would have been good to see him just hang in it after the pinnacle climax moment. But
what would that moment have been for you? I'm curious. What would Khabib's pinnacle moment?
So he gets the belt from Conor and hides for 2 years and then bows out because of negotiating problems.
No, he had 2 more fights after that. He fought Poirier and Gaethje.
Right. Okay. Sorry. And the Gaethje fight, to me, I was going to gloss over the Poirier fight because he won that. The Gaethje fight was a close fight. You could disagree with me all you want, but that's where you started to see some people could compete with this guy.
Dude, he mauled him.
Okay.
He mauled it. I
No,
think the only round he
no.
lost was against Conor. I think Conor was the only one who won a round against Khabib. I think he won the first round, and then he got mauled in like the second or third.
Either way, I feel as though that's not how I remember it. So that it starts and ends there. But the way I look at the 2 years of holding on to the belt, getting an interim champ, negotiation problems, it's not how I remember it. And there's others within the space that talk about it. So I'm clearly not lost in orbit. But again, without making it even close to the central point, the bigger point is Ronda Rousey is so focused on casting stones at everything around her beyond anything that even looks like personal accountability. Her role in all of this and how she could. Do you know if any one of us had a platform that had even 500,000 people looking at us? If you stumbled and fumbled that opportunity, you're an idiot. And the fact that she can't keep herself relevant with however many Instagram followers she had, like she's going to sell copies of this book, but you probably could sell even more just simply for being a likable brand. That's a fumble. Like the fact you can't even do that and put on a facade and pretend, but then to go after the biggest brand. Ask CNN how it went going after Joe Rogan.
Yeah, that's a great point. I wouldn't even consider that. I don't get what her, like, do you even think she was advised, or like, do you really think this is a personal vendetta she thinks she's justified in?
Dude, the black eye and being on Bert's podcast talking about Joe Rogan. All of it feels like
it's a
bit. And, Tom Segura thinks he's so meta, like playing the audience. Like it's 4D chess. He's smarter than all of us, bringing Stavi and Chris DiStefano on his two bears. So that way they could all ridicule how stupid him and Bert are and how stupid the show's got. And it's like, instead of making the show better and listening to your audience, you gaslight them and like feed it more, and you think you're winning because you got a summer of more views. Okay, you won for a summer. Now you're back to a shit podcast we're all talking shit about still. So to me, this feels like one of those, and that's because I'm not bound by this reality. I'm schizophrenic. My Occam's razor is that it seems very plausible that this was a just marketing scheme that agents and these comedians concocted. Bert's looking for guests that keep him relevant. This is a perfect little staged event. Oh, you're talking about my best friend? I'm going to change. I got to change the subject. It's like, I think that was 100% the pit. And it's way late in the episode. It's not early on. And that's not the first time Joe's been brought up. So it's one of those like, how long was this cooking and fermenting?
Did they have a falling out or something, Bert and Joe?
No, no. That's why it's like you're on Bert's podcast, and Bert is like the little piglet on Joe's nipple. Like there's like 9 human beings that Joe Rogan keeps alive and relevant. Bert's one of them.
Dude, if Ronda Rousey asked Joe to be on his podcast, he'd probably let her.
Probably, dude. Are you kidding me? Like, this is probably going to prompt exactly that.
No, but I mean, like,
right?
She probably
like,
didn't.
That's already booked and scheduled, and we're sitting here going, "Oh, maybe this was all part of the plan."
But I mean, like, do you think she needed to do this in order to get on Joe's?
No,
that's what I mean.
No,
like,
I think it was. You do that, and then we make it a whole public scandal, and then you come on to do this whole like, misunderstanding, apology. We're all buddies type deal. I mean, it happened on the Bertcast.
It's like a meme.
Yes. I'm sorry. So, Ricky, any rapid thoughts on the whole deal?
Sorry, gotta find a mute. But I think it was a stupid move. No, it's not a stupid move on her part because it got the attention. I didn't even know she was selling the book until you said it. So it wasn't a stupid move on her part just to say it, but I don't really think she believed that, bro. Like, Joe Rogan was not was there from the start. You said it. He wasn't getting paid in the beginning to commentate for the UFC, just a fan of the game. So like, even if he was not even a fighter in any of the arts, it would still be like, yo, what do you mean? Like, this man was there from the get-go, like years of watching fights and seeing different champions and different people going in and out should give you some type of expertise over 20 years. Like, come on now. So it was kind of stupid of her. I don't agree. Ronda, do better. Never liked her anyway, so hey.
Well, and I think that's the greater point, Ricky. The question is, what does it mean to be an expert? If Joe Rogan isn't an expert on MMA, then what does it mean to be an expert? And I'm asking you, Douglas Murray, because the reality is, I like Ricky's point. Yeah, Joe Rogan may have started as a fan doing it for free, but how long does a fan, humans, like you may have started as a fan of chemistry, but then you read enough chemistry books and now you're an expert in chemistry. So how much exposure does a fan need to have before they become an expert? And to say that he hasn't done the training and the background practice and exercises to be proclaimed as such, that's just ridiculous. So at the end of the day, this whole Ronda Rousey versus Joe Rogan thing feels less like a clash of opinions and more like a reminder of how short the public's memory really is. Ronda Rousey changed the game, no question. But somewhere along the way, she let bitterness eclipse legacy. And Joe, he's not a fighter anymore, but he stayed close enough to the fire to still feel the heat. Calling Rogan just a fan might make headlines, but it also kind of proves his point. He's been around long enough to become the institution. Meanwhile, Ronda's trying to remind us she's still here, still relevant, still fighting for recognition in a sport she helped build. But here's the real takeaway. Fame in the fight world isn't about who punches hardest. It's about who stays standing the longest. And in that sense, Rogan's still in the arena, and Ronda's still trying to find her way back in. Maybe instead of calling him a fan, she should take a note from him. Because if there's one thing Rogan's proven, it's that staying curious lasts longer than staying angry. Will, any wrapping thoughts?
I really hope this is just a publicity stunt for her to kind of get more relevance, because if it's not, like, I haven't really thought much of Ronda Rousey in the last decade. I think what happened to her at the end of her career is really sad. I wish it didn't go the way she did, but I think she's such an unlikable person that this is just partially what her personality is, and I think she's such a pick-me girl in the wrong way.
Well, transitioning here, let me introduce you to Neo. You know, I was the first kid in my 8th grade class to have an iPhone, and I remember that day vividly. It wasn't just a new gadget, it was a moment. It changed the air around me. Teachers were fascinated, parents were peeking over shoulders, and my friends, they suddenly wanted to hold the future in their hands. Nobody realized it back then, but that little screen wasn't just a device, it was the first portal. And looking back now, that kid in 8th grade had no clue he was opening the door to the rest of his life. Because since that day, the price of admission to the future has only gone up. The devices haven't changed that much in appearance, but our dependence on them, that's evolved into something deeper, almost biological. We work harder to change our phones than, we work harder to charge our phones than we do to recharge ourselves. We've become part machine already. We just refuse to call it that. And that's what makes the introduction of Neo, the first humanoid robot hitting the consumer market, such a chilling deja vu. Right now, it's marketed as a helper, a novelty. Someone will be the first person on the block to have one standing in their kitchen, running errands, folding laundry, maybe even cracking a joke. Everyone will ooh and ah. But the real question is, how long until this stops being a novelty and starts being a necessity? How long until we can't imagine a world where Neo isn't doing the dishes or putting our kids to bed? Because if the iPhone was the key that unlocked the digital door, Neo is the moment we step through it. And once that happens, there's no going back. So enjoy the future, folks, but keep your eyes open. The machines might not take over overnight. They'll just quietly become something we can't live without. So is Neo the next iPhone or the next Frankenstein? Let me introduce you to our new friend here, Neo.
My name is Bernd, and today we're launching Neo, our humanoid For the home. Neo is a humanoid companion designed to transform your life at home. It combines AI and advanced hardware to help with daily chores and bring intelligence into your everyday life. Neo's hardware comes packed with features like human-level dexterity and a 55-pound carrying capacity so that it can handle any of your chores reliably. We also worked really hard to make Neo's design.
This thing's so creepy looking.
Each Neo comes with a machine-washable knit suit, a head, and shoes that you
No mouth. Seriously?
out of the box. The core of your experience is fully autonomous. The chores feature lets you schedule a time for your Neo to do all of your chores so you can come back to a cleaner home every day. With the AI companion feature, you can talk to your Neo to get assistance with anything from a hard question to a household task. With Neo's autonomy, you can get access to all of its latest AI features to get help with tasks on demand. And the Neo app lets you interact with your Neo from
All right. Before we develop this further, I want to get your guys' thoughts on this because I got more to come. What do you think, Ricky?
Ricky, please go first.
Never in hell. Even if I can afford it, I will not. I refuse.
Really?
What happened? No, not for me, dog. That's so creepy. What happens when someone hacked that shit? Like,
Oh, wait. Put a pin in that question.
okay, yeah.
What happens when someone hacks it? Oh, I got something for you. There's a development in this that I learned
I'd rather get an
well
old
after the
lady.
excitement of Neo.
I'd rather get an
Will,
old lady
first,
that
what are your
needs the
thoughts?
money
Wait.
more.
What's that?
So how much does that cost? Is that like a yearly salary of someone?
Probably.
So, I'd rather just get the person.
The
$4.99 a month
Sounds bad.
subscription.
for eternity.
Forever.
And
We're looking
that's
at
it
20
too.
grand
Oh,
and
okay.
and about $500 a month.
20 grand to do your dishes. I'm good.
Yeah, like I can wash my own dishes. Y'all got dishwashers. People stop being lazy, man.
Well, for billionaires, this is better than, Guadalupe. It's just so much easier. She doesn't talk back or have opinions.
Or thoughts.
I don't have to buy her a Christmas present.
Hell no. I don't want that in the house.
So wait, Will, what are your
I
thoughts on
don't-
this thing?
No, I think it's great,
I
man.
don't-
Give them to everybody. Why not?
iRobot. I've seen this before.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, every week now, I feel like you're like, all right, we're gonna have 3 topics. One of them is gonna be a new weird robot. Like that's like every week now, it's just another weirder robot.
Hold up, time
and
out.
It scares me, and I want to go home, and it just makes me feel like one of them's already in my house.
I do think about that for like how much lately we've talked about AI or robots or just the scary Black Mirror future that's upon us.
Last week
And-
it was Susan Summers, and now it's just
Susan
baby
Summers
iRobot.
as a cloned robot. Good point.
So
Thing
hold
that
on.
I
So
was
what
thinking
happened
about is when I go back to 2018, when I started this whole thing, it was just talking about what's relevant, trending, reporting right now. It's just the reality we need to accept is this is our present. Like the crazy futuristic dystopia we were afraid of is right now. And it's why we keep reporting it. It's because it's not the tomorrow anymore. It's living in your kitchen the today.
And I just like watch that thing like kind of move around a little bit, and he just like kind of moves around like Joe Biden, and it makes me feel
You know what?
uncomfortable.
You're pointing out good things about its movement. It's quirky. Maybe Joe Biden's back there. What am I saying? Why do I mean that? Well, Ricky said it would be terrible if somebody hacked this thing. There is a development that came after I learned about the excitement of Neo. So you would think the company that's supporting this or all the tech gurus and reporting news outlets would at least acknowledge this one caveat. Shout out to the Wall Street Journal, who happens to be the only entity that raised, I don't know, the most important part of not getting excited with this thing.
One little catch. There may be a human behind the curtain, pulling the robot's strings.
If I throw up, will the robot throw up?
A company representative may need to peer into your house via Neo's camera eyes to get things done.
To many people, this is crazy.
You have to be okay with this for the product to be useful.
But is
No.
Neo a useful product?
We're twinning now, Neo.
So are you really replacing human labor when it's just paying a human in Los Angeles to do your dishes in Ohio.
That dude who showed off the robot said we might have to peer into your house. Kind of look like the chicken from that surf movie.
Do you
Surf's Up.
notice like the Elon Musk's and who's the OpenAI guy? Sam Altman. This cat here. Do you see they've all got the same like extra chromosome tinge in their eye? Like I got that tism that makes me unempathetic to human life. But I'm rich and brilliant.
I would love. Oh, okay. I don't even know if I should say that.
Probably not. Probably
It
not.
would have been a funny bit. It would have been a funny bit. I'm just
Bro,
thinking in my head. I was
imagine-
like, dude, imagine like they like, oh, we need to like hack in to see what's going on, and like right as they hack in, they just see me take a bat to its head.
Oh, I was thinking like if they log in and I'm laying in bed with it, and they're like, "Whoa!"
Oh yeah, so like that.
Honestly,
I'm
I'm
playing a
saying-
prank on him. Like, oh my god, it's not doing the
Bro.
dishes right. Can you help me out here? And they're like, I'm just
See,
doing
y'all
the most
talking about that.
ridiculous thing with my robot.
I'm
Well,
saying, I
in
say,
this-
Neo, go
I
with
want
the
to pay
charging
20 grand to
port.
do that, but like if I had the 20 grand, I might do that.
What were
I
you
tell
gonna say,
Neo to
Ricky?
go to the charging port just so I can have the living room to myself and my lady, and I start doing some strokes. And next thing I know is two red eyes in the corner staring at me because the human controlling it is a freaky, if you're 69 God. Like, this is weird.
Coach.
And how much clearance are they gonna do for the people background check for these people running it? How are they saying like this is not okay, bro?
Dude, it's gonna be like Uber. It's just random people that just like, yeah, I'll do the dishes for these folks.
She literally said, next challenge, put 3 things in the dishwasher. It's like, sweetheart, I have that my problem myself. Like, don't give it to the robot.
Wait, but wouldn't it be funny? You just like walk in and the thing's like going through your desk drawer, just shuffling through money. You're like, whoa,
He's going-
whoa. You got your firearms. Like, I found it. Like, whoa.
He's going through your checkbook.
That development, I thought, changed the whole lens here. But one of the things that I also want to show in the spirit of that, it's people controlling this thing. Let's all just enjoy a moment of I show speed doing it.
All right, let's dance together. Robot.
It's pretty articulate,
Very reactive.
right? Until it died. Push the button.
Like that.
And it lost its impressiveness. So we're reaching an age where the fantastical future is sitting in our lap. I don't know. I want to ask Ricky, if you could have a humanoid robot at home, what's the first task you'd trust it with?
See, the funny thing is, when I saw this topic, I was like, Nalette, you want a robot? She's like, hell no. And I was like, all right, I'll just get a hot Latina. She's like, hell no, that's the same equivalent. She's like, that's the same equivalent.
Oh my
I want
God.
neither.
Now she's like, I'm getting a robot.
Like, I can't even think, even if I had the money, like, I would never allow something like this in my house. I don't want a Roomba, bruv. Like, I would vacuum my own house. Like, I don't trust stuff like this.
But
I
dude,
don't
the boomers will. Like
Oh
my
my
house,
Oh yeah, they don't care.
my lights on the front of my garage, my lights in my house, the temperature, the Ring doorbell, all this shit that my parents are like, you got to get an app now. It's like, maybe I just want a button that opens and closes my garage door. Like maybe the traditional way was perfect. I understand that it benefits you guys. If I'm away on vacation, you could just use the app to take care of my dog and help me out, whatever. But I try to explain it to them. Like you don't understand my goals. And it's actually quite frustrating. You don't respect the goal of wanting to have as few apps on my phone as possible. Like, I understand that I need my phone, and I understand that a majority of these applications are necessary. But why can't you respect the goal, which is a very difficult exercise, to try to have the least amount of apps on my phone as possible? Because like you're indicating it because this is physically in your home. It's even more intrusive. You don't see the level of intrusive these apps are on your phone when they're reading every message. They own your photo library. I'm trying to explain to my dad, like, dude, I do all this content. They could just take one of my videos because it's in my photo library and use it in an advertisement. And when I go to try to sue them, they go, no. You gave us the rights to your photo library. I got that and your dick pic. What are you going to do about it?
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, they're using that for promos too. Come get the Neo. Look at this chap.
It's a Super Bowl commercial.
So it's like we don't think about these things, and this is about as intrusive as it gets. It's physically, literally intrusive. Then you got to get the app on your phone. This thing's going to be following you, listening to you, tracking you, and just like Alexa, for constructive purposes and software development, we need to store and vet all of this back at our home base too. Like it's all on our servers for us to own and manipulate.
Dude, I never thought I'd relate to Will Smith my entire life, but I totally get him.
Now
in
you
iRobot.
are him.
I totally get him in iRobot.
How funny is it that like it's only, do you remember the day where it was like, oh my God, they solved the first murder case with an Alexa. Then it's going to be like a Neo solved a murder case. And then it's going to be the Neo was the
case.
Yes.
A Neo did it.
Bro, hire someone from the company that has the Neo in their house. Like,
bingo.
That is, bro, why do we want to do this stuff? Like,
you're going to wake up and this will be the first sight.
bro, that is crazy. That is like that, bro.
Go
that
to
is
sleep.
crazy.
Go to sleep. Go to sleep.
I found the checkbook. Go to bed.
I found the checkbook. Look at that thing's lifeless eyes.
Yeah. We're so fucked, dude.
You can't tell. Like you can't tell me like they're not like planning something. Like it's $20,000 for us.
you have
That's a
people
lot.
out
For
here.
them, that's nothing. I
You
got
have
an
people
army.
out here
To
The
that's
first
gonna be
time they
like,
went to go with Grok, the plan was written 7-8 years ago.
Oh yeah.
And now it's just coming into action.
They're like, quick, give them Sora 2. They can make a Robin Williams video.
You're gonna have people out here thinking, "Oh, it's so cute." Like they're psycho.
Bro, I'd hit
So
it.
cute.
I know I'd hit it. It'd scare me. And like unintentionally. Like I just like turn the corner and it's just all 6 foot of it right there.
Yeah, it's bigger than you. You
like,
bring this robot in, you're like, well, shit, you're here for the dishes?
yeah. Hey man, hey, can you reach the top shelf? I can't.
I'll reach more than the top shelf, boy. You're like, oh, well, you're my daddy now.
Dude, it's big enough to be my bitch. I'm good. I don't need it.
Dude, we're so screwed.
like if I were to walk in there, I'd be like, dude, do you have one like 5'5"? They'd be like, no.
Custom sizing them so they're smaller than you.
Like, do you have the Neo Mini or something? Like, I don't want to.
I want to know. Okay, here's the real question. We know rich people are going to be the first to get it. How tall is Henry Dinkler's robot going to be?
6'2".
He helps me where I can't help myself. Hi ho, my robot's off to work. He goes.
Dude, he's gonna like go to the store with him, be holding its hand, and be like, "All right, Neo, let's go."
Just he's in the child seat, just kicking his feet, and his robot's like,
It's gonna be like Stewie and Brian.
yeah. Oh man, Ricky, can you give me your rapping thoughts? We need to land this plane. We're cooked.
People, don't do it. Stop being lazy.
Just do your damn dishes.
Just don't do it. The dishwasher already do the dishes for y'all. Like, come on.
Well, some people get emotional support animals, and I guess the future generation is going to get emotional support robots. You know, when the iPhone first dropped, it didn't feel like the start of a revolution. It just felt like a cool gadget. But here we are, living our lives through those little glass rectangles. And Neo feels like that same kind of moment. Quiet, unassuming, but history level important. The question isn't if we'll adopt them. It's how quickly we'll convince ourselves we can't live without them. Maybe that's progress, or maybe it's dependency disguised as innovation. Either way, the age of humanoids isn't coming. It's already knocking at the door. The only thing left to ask is who's opening it first? Will, any wrapping thoughts?
No, just get it. Get it. Leave a Yelp review for it. I don't care. Like, I don't give, I'm never going to have one. Like, I'm never $20,000 for that stupid robot is a down payment on a house for some people. And some people need to do their dishes, I guess.
It is crazy if you think about it. Like, you're never going to get one. I'm never going to get one. Ricky's never going to get one. Millennials are going to hold strong. Gen Z is going to try. It's going to be like a sliding scale of, impact. But there will be a period where we share a plane where the older generation, our generation, whatever, fast forward 25, 30 years, will refuse to, will be geriatric, can't remember our kids' names, and I ain't putting that damn robot in my house. And then there's going to be another major faction of society, the majority of people, that have it entirely seamlessly sewed into their daily life and their daily routine where they can't live without it. And it's going to make a classism that casts those that don't have them out. And what's funny is all these young whippersnappers in this studio right now are like, that's fine. I'll go out with it. So it'll be interesting to see where that goes. Let's get to our final topic here. This one's an exciting one. As an Ohioan, the mayor of New York feels about as relevant to my day-to-day life as the Queen of England. But somehow this race has everyone acting like it's a matter of national security. Why? Because New York isn't just a city anymore. It's America's loudspeaker. Whatever happens there somehow becomes the next thing the rest of us have to deal with 6 months later. But here's the thing. Every election cycle feels like the same bad rerun. The system doesn't give you a choice. It gives you a false choice. Pick the one who sucks a little less, and we'll call it democracy. That's not civic duty. That's emotional blackmail with a campaign button. And now, as the usual establishment types crawl back out of the woodwork, like Cuomo, who's somehow testing the waters again after the whole nursing home disaster and slippery fingers mess. You can't help but wonder if these guys ever actually leave or if they just hibernate until the public forgets. Because the public does forget. Meanwhile, you've got a far left candidate like Mondami stepping up, trying to pitch quite literally communism with better branding. The kind of equality that punishes productivity and rewards apathy. The kind of ideology that always sounds great in college classrooms, but collapses the second it meets reality. And look, I get it. There's a certain poetic justice in watching New York eat its own. You want to defund everything? Go ahead. You want to tax your way to a utopia? Knock yourself out. But what happens in New York never stays in New York. The moment those ideas start leaking out into national politics, the rest of us have to deal with the infection. At some point, we've got to stop pretending that tearing down the system makes it fairer. Communism doesn't lift up the poor. It drags everyone else down to join them. And when a political culture starts rewarding laziness, punishing ambition, and treating success like a moral crime, well, that's not progress. That's decay dressed up as compassion. So yeah, maybe the mayor of New York shouldn't matter to me, but the problem is New York keeps exporting its mess like it's a national product. And the more we pretend that cities' choices don't affect the rest of the country, the more we'll find ourselves living in their consequences. So there's a lot to consider here. And first thing, here's this is what came out today, one of the more interesting pieces. This is the ballot. Don't mind the Chinese. That's the folks that they got a special ballot. But the English one is even more egregious. It's a much larger image and you wouldn't be able to read it. But if you notice, Zoran Kwame Mandami is on there twice as the Democratic candidate and the Working Families candidate. So he's on there twice, double dipping. Andrew Cuomo, the leading competitor, isn't even on the top row. He's in the bottom right corner, buried between other folks. And one of the other ones, was it? Yes. Curtis. Yes. Okay. You know what's funny about Curtis Silwa? This dude, or Sliwa or whatever, He dropped out of the race because he didn't want to split Cuomo's votes.
Yeah.
So he's not only on there, he's on there twice, and he's not even supposed to be on there. So just classic shifty politics because they can't win as they normally fairly would like to.
Hey, burn it down to the ground.
Wait, Mayor Adams is still running?
What's that?
Mayor Adams is still running?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's still in it.
Silly goosey, thinks he's got a chance. But the bigger dialogue here is one, just how politics loves cheating as it always does. Politics with politics. That's democracy the American way. But also, it is interesting. I've tried to avoid a dialogue on this. I've not wanted to concern myself with it, but it has gotten to a point where his beliefs, this Mandami character, it's so radical that it is impossible to, it is the antithesis to the American way. And so while we are open to all competing ideologies, religions, and perspectives, we have to get stronger and better at finding, picking out, and calling out the types of ideologies that pose a direct threat to the union. I'm sorry, but Islam is one of them. And if you fail to see that, it's because you fail to truly read the Quran, read their words. And the more I see American Muslims pressed on this subject, one of the verses of the Quran that they highly cite when, like, you're like, hey, you're for hurting homosexuals. I'm trying to say words that aren't going to get me in trouble, but that's the words in their book that you're trying to protect, their holy book. That's neither here nor there. Hey, you're pro this. They'll be like, no, if you read this verse, the law of the land that we live on is the law that we live by. So that's against American law, so it's against us. And, you know, it's fun when you watch theologists push this point and they'll go, okay, but what happens when the law of the land says Islam is illegal? Well, then we need to reject it and kill it. It's like, okay. So the reality is,
vote for me for mayor.
Yeah. So you look at these Americans that claim to be Muslim, and we need to start holding their feet to the fire. Force them to acknowledge, like I have to as a Catholic, like when a priest does something creepy, the thing I get to say back to you is, that's against the holy book. They did a bad thing. When a Muslim does some of these creepy things, like, I don't know, marry one of his 8 wives, 6 years old, and how women must always succumb to the male urge, grapes. In the book, you go, well, I'm ignoring that one. I'm American. It's like, well, then just acknowledge you're practicing something different. It's your version of this, but this isn't the original religion you're trying to force us to accept and say we need to have in our country. At a certain point, we need to recognize what this is going to mean for our culture when you do have 5 times a day screaming prayer songs in the streets. Well, what about church bells? What about church bells? My uncle over here who is Christian, fought the church for the church bells being too loud. So yeah, every day at noon, do they still get to chime their bells? Yes, but even Dr. Scrooge over here made sure that it isn't so loud that it's heard blocks away. So I have a heart for you to a certain point. But then I acknowledge what the system is. And the system continues to, it's South Park, as they always put it. Pick the douchebag or the turd sandwich. That's all you get. You lose. And that's how you get us even saying the name Andrew Cuomo again. He killed all your grandmas during the pandemic. He shouldn't be a name we talk about. He had slippery fingers with the females that worked in his political mechanism. He shouldn't be in the conversation here. This guy, do you remember this guy? May I guide your eyes back to his nipple rings. The politician with the nipple rings. That's the guy we need to talk about again? He killed your grandmas.
Dude, those things are
Nobody knew what we were dealing with. I had the best health and worst. Nobody knew what we were dealing with. I had the best health experts from around the globe giving us advice. We followed the best advice. We followed the federal guidance. And people died in a horrific way. There were no visitors allowed into nursing homes. And I apologize for any family that lost a loved one during that time. It was on my watch. And I understand how terrible it was.
Yeah, we really were first and worst. I remember calling my family down in South Carolina saying, Mom and Dad, do not go to that party. You don't understand what's happening here. Y'all need to stay away from your friends right now and stay at home. People are losing their loved ones. My doorman, many of them lost like their dad, their mom. It was really sad. Janice D.
Yeah. Really sad. I don't forget. Really, really sad. I don't forget, dude. Like, do we remember when the Cuomo brothers were like gallivanting through town when everybody else was locked in their basements?
Wasn't it his brother that was like caught after curfew? It was his
and
brother,
cussing
right?
someone out because he was on a bike ride.
Yeah.
I don't forget. I don't forget. That is a great shirt, dude.
No one. It's great.
So there's another element to the story
that's
Will was
crazy.
hoping we'd get to discuss today. And did you see? Even Trump came out in support of Andrew Cuomo, who vehemently,
that's
is an antagonist.
That is a WWE mashup I didn't see coming.
Well, here's Cuomo's take on it.
The president does not support me. The president opposes Zoran Mandami. The president believes Zoran Mandami is a communist. He believes
just
he's an
take the
existential
W.
threat.
Just take it.
I believe he's
He doesn't actually like me. Why would you say that? What an idiot.
Because, dude, he knows my whole voting city has Trump derangement syndrome. I have to pander to them still.
Yeah. And listen, a part of me gets it, but it's like, dude, of all the days, you just need to just suck it up for 12 hours. And then you could yell at him when you win.
Yeah. Well, I want to get your guys' thoughts on this because it's an interesting take. I don't know. I want to get your thoughts. In the comments, dive into the comments so we can get your thoughts too. It's wild how fast, this came from a Twitter account, Cultural Explorer. It's wild how fast the political class and media turn into a choir when they fear someone. The way they've been piling on Mamdani tells me one thing. He scares the right people. You don't have to love his ideas to see the pattern. Every time an outsider threatens the script, elites scream danger. They did it with Trump. Now they're doing it again. At the same time, I sit here and go, he's also being raved over by Pocahontas and Bernie Sanders. So it isn't like there aren't not so great actors that also love him.
It's to me, I think it's really simple. They love to virtue signal as long as it doesn't actually have a seat in power.
Interesting.
Like they will do it for as long as they can, but now the fact that he may be the mayor of the most powerful city on the planet, it has them actually freaked out. But they promoted it the whole time. Not him, but like that ideology for as long as they could.
And now
they
it's
promoted it, and now it's literally 30 minutes until polls close, and he's probably going to win. And that has him free.
And then they look at you and be like, this is what I love is you would never vote for nipple shirt.
Look at that photo.
You would never vote for nipple shirt. But if we put it against, an Islamic communist that says he's going to give free busing and not enforce any theft laws and let the city unravel, it's like, well, what do you want? You want Mad Max or these beautiful nipples?
I don't know.
Like, no, his security guard, no one warmed it ahead of time.
You vote for the beautiful nipples.
Which way, Western man? Which way?
That way.
That's the thing. That's what. So, to answer that question, it's like I think they're personally against Mamdani, but they would promote that his ideology as much as they can until the real literal thing could possibly have that seat in power.
And it's here.
Yeah.
So let's try to make some predictions. And in about a week or two, I'm probably gonna give it some more time because I'd like to see what happens to New York.
This should be a recurring thing.
But I'm gonna follow up with the cruel philosopher who is in New York. He's in New York City, and I want to see how the experience changes. And in lieu of that, maybe we can make a little clip here that we attribute into that podcast episode. But what do we predict? Like, sitting here right now, we haven't gotten a final call, but Mom Dammy is out here pulling the leads a bit. My prediction is I can't see a world where he doesn't win, simply because the people, it doesn't matter what the polls say and what the media tries to push. The people seem to be convicted in similarly why Trump gets any relevance. People would rather watch it burn down than vote for the machine again. So they're willing to.
Bro, they're poking out.
Like, no one warned him. Like, bro, we can see your nips.
I don't know if you guys have ever seen
Put
that
on a beater.
Tom Cruise movie, like Eyes Wide Shut.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But it's like, guys, these are the people the movie's about. Like, he waves at you as an elitist politician, then goes back and does his ceremonies, puts the cloak on.
Dude, if I was at one of those parties and saw him like in the mask and didn't know it was him, but I just saw those nipples walk by, I'd be like, there he is. That's Cuomo.
It's crazy.
It's a beautiful world we live in.
So I think my prediction is I do think he's going to win. And what will that do for the city? You are going to see such an increase in crime that I fear you will experience an exodus that is unlike New York, because New Yorkers are convicted in being New Yorkers. That's the world they live in. They're going to live and die by it. But at the same time, when it starts becoming Oman, you're going to be like, okay, my girlfriend just got shanked and the police don't give a shit about me because I'm lacking the melanin to care. So it's time for me to get out of here. And I think people are going to be, especially when the money goes. Oh, yeah. Like, I'm thinking of my two gay cousins that are stupid rich. My mom's cousins, stupid rich, living in New York. How many ruffled feathers in the subway or, a little bump on the street before they're like, I think it's time to go to the Hamptons? Or, what's it called? Atlantic City or, whatever. I feel like my prediction is that you will see them have to lay in the bed they made, and it won't be comfortable. What are your predictions?
I just want to know what this is going to do to the New York Yankees and the New York Mets.
What do you
want to see it bury them. I hope it buries them. Burn it down. Burn it down. I would vote for him. I'd vote for him.
When the fan base is like, I really don't want to go down to the Bronx anymore. It isn't very safe anymore. I think I'm going to leave.
Dude, it's going to go from the house that Ruth built to the one that Mom Donnie burned to the ground. I can't wait. I cannot wait to watch this go down. I'm not a New York fan. I don't think anybody's here, particularly like fans in New York City.
Dude, Ricky's in Nantucket.
Yeah.
So he's close.
Yeah. And it's like the individuals that, like, again, it's New Yorkers. It's that, like, just that stupid pride they have. And it's just been a cesspool for like years now with Cuomo in charge. Now it's like, oh, yeah, let it burn. I don't care. Like, I want to watch. Like, I want to watch this happen.
I feel it. Ricky, but let's start landing the plane. Any predictions, rapid thoughts?
New Yorkers are like Dallas people from Texas. They're just very prideful. They're always been prideful, no matter who's in their office. I don't care much less because I'm just learning all about this honestly through y'all. That's why I asked. Like, Eric Adams is still in there. I thought he resigned a long time ago. Like, I don't know what's going on in New York, man. Fuck New York.
Yeah,
but it's like, to go off Ricky's point, like, about Eric Adams still being on the ballot. It's like, that's how, like, convicted we all pretty much are. Like, he's gonna win. Like, Mom Donnie's gonna win. You get what I mean? Like, it's like, I heard people saying like, oh, Cuomo may pull, and it's like, then I look up and he's like independent, and it's like he didn't even win the Democrat primary for it. I'm supposed to believe he's gonna somehow in the last hour beat Mom Donnie? Like, absolutely not.
So after all the back and forth and the eyes poking out, here's the takeaway. The mayor of New York really does matter, mostly to New Yorkers, and only in the sense that their city sets a national example. for better or for worse. But for the rest of us, it's a cautionary tale in miniature. Politics doesn't always reward the competent. It rewards the dramatic, the loud, and the people willing to play the system. New York may rot in its own policies, or maybe it will course correct. Either way, it's a reminder that real power often lies elsewhere, and that the rest of the country shouldn't just sit back and hope for the experiment doesn't blow up in the rest of our faces. In the end, it's about paying attention to the structures, not the spectacle. Because if we only vote based on who sucks the least, we're all going to keep getting the same result everywhere, every time. So, with all that being considered, I appreciate you guys giving us your time tonight. If we made you laugh, if we made you think, the best thing you can support our show, what we're doing here, is share this video. If you liked it, someone else you know will too, and we're in a fight against algorithms, so it really benefits us when you share it. But otherwise, just hit the like, subscribe, because we're here every week. We're live, and the whole purpose of the live show is to get you involved. So shout out to Straight Bombs and everybody else in the comments that was dropping comments. It's very helpful getting to add your guys' angle to the dialogue here. The Gladiator popped in too. It's great seeing you all. So again, the whole purpose of the live show is to get you involved. So we appreciate you joining us. We've got all these different shows. We got our Sunday show. Our Sunday football review is making money. We're on a roll. Our parlay picks are rocking and rolling. And I think we got a good sense of our predictions for the NFL season. So if you're a big football fan, or even just Sunday, our reactions channel, you want to get a little break and enjoy some hilarious internet videos, those two shows on Sundays are a great break from all the chaos. But if you're looking for one central place where you could find everything, it's at our website at www.rethinktankpodcast.com. Before you depart, I want to bring in Ricky. Ricky, tell the folks where they could find you.
Just Another Day TV and The Right Way anywhere. I actually got content coming out soon. And if you want to help, as I said, just DM me and I'll lead you in the right direction.
Help for Jamaica.
Yep. Help for Jamaica. Yeah. Hurricane relief. If you want to help with the hurricane relief, just send me a DM and I'll lead you in the right direction.
Amen. Amen. So guys, like we said, check out everything out at our website, but otherwise just please hit the like button, share, and we'll catch you next week. Thanks for joining.